this person was hurting you. You could feel it in your chest, in the way you'd check your phone every few minutes, just waiting, hoping for a message that might never come. In the way a single text from them could completely flip your mood. One word from them and suddenly you're okay. One day of silence and suddenly you're falling apart. And yet, you stayed. Maybe you're still staying right now. And the question that keeps you up at night is, why? Why does someone who causes you so much pain also feel impossible to walk away from? Why does leaving feel scarier than staying in something that's slowly breaking you? That's what we're going to talk about today. And I promise you, the answer is going to make a lot of things click. There's a guy I want to tell you about. His name is Ryan, 26 years old, good heart, the kind of person who shows up for everyone around him, smart enough to know deep down that the relationship was damaging him. His friends could see it. His older brother told him straight up. Even Ryan himself, in his most honest moments, knew it wasn't right. And yet he was completely unable to leave. Ashley wasn't always cruel. That's the thing people on the outside never understand. She wasn't this cold, distant person every single day. There were moments, real beautiful moments, where she made Ryan feel like the only person in the world. She'd laugh at his jokes like nobody else did. She'd text him randomly just to say she was thinking about him. In those moments, she felt like home. And then without any warning, she'd pull away, go quiet, go cold, like a switch flipped somewhere that Ryan couldn't see, and suddenly he was left standing in the dark, confused, anxious, desperate to get that version of her back. He'd spend hours replaying conversations in his head, going back through what he said, what he might have done wrong, whether he came on too strong or not strong enough. That obsessive loop of trying to solve a problem he couldn't even fully see. Maybe you know exactly what that feels like. Ryan started checking her last scene multiple times an hour, refreshing it, watching, waiting. He'd reread old messages just to feel something, to remind himself the good times were real. He'd hear a song they used to play on road trips and just sit there in his car, parked outside his apartment, not ready to go inside yet, just sitting with that feeling, that complicated, exhausting mix of love and pain that you can't really explain to anyone who hasn't lived it. And here's the part that made Ryan feel the most ashamed. Even after 4 days of silence, 4 days of being ignored, when Ashley finally texted him, his whole body flooded with relief. Not anger, not hurt, not frustration, just pure, overwhelming relief, like he'd been holding his breath underwater and someone finally pulled him to the surface. He didn't stop to think about the 4 days. He just felt the relief. And that's where something really fascinating, like yardstick and really painful nights where happens inside the brain. When a relationship is consistent and when love is steady and warm and predictable, your brain eventually relaxes into it. It feels safe. It stops bracing for impact. But when a relationship is unpredictable, sometimes close, sometimes cold, sometimes everything you ever wanted and then suddenly nothing, your brain does the opposite. It becomes hypervigilant, obsessed, locked in, because the brain is wired to chase what it cannot predict. There's a term for this in psychology, intermittent reinforcement, and it's the exact same mechanism that makes gambling so deeply addictive. You don't win every time. You lose more than you win, but you win just enough, just unpredictably enough to keep pulling the lever, to keep coming back. In a relationship, those random moments of warmth after stretches of coldness hit the brain exactly like a jackpot hits a gambler. Dopamine surges, not because the relationship is healthy, not because it's making you better, but because the reward was uncertain. And uncertain rewards are neurologically the most powerful kind. Ryan wasn't addicted to Ashley. He was addicted to the possibility of Ashley, the version of her that showed up sometimes, the version that made him feel chosen, seen, loved. He kept coming back, trying to find that version again. But that's not even the most painful part. The most painful part is this. The more Ashley pulled away, the more Ryan wanted her. Not less, more. Every time she went cold, the craving intensified. Every time she came back, it felt like proof. Proof that it was real. Proof that the pain had meaning. Proof that if he just held on a little longer, things would go back to how they used to be. He stopped trusting his own feelings. He started measuring his worth entirely through her responses. If she replied quickly, he was enough. If she left him on red, something was wrong with him. His entire self-image had been handed over to someone who didn't even know they were holding it. He'd lost himself so completely that he couldn't remember what it felt like to just be okay on his own. If you've ever stayed in something that was hurting you because leaving felt scarier than staying adhered, subscribe. Because these are the conversations nobody ever teaches us, and you deserve to understand what's actually happening inside you. One night, Ryan sat alone at 2 a.m. Ashley hadn't replied in 4 days. He opened their chat, scrolled all the way up to the beginning, read through everything, the inside jokes, the late-night voice notes, the texts where she said she couldn't imagine her life without him. He looked at old photos, tried to find the exact moment things started to shift, and then something cracked open in him, not dramatically, just quietly, like a door unlocking somewhere deep inside. 2 years. He'd spent 2 years in this cycle. 2 years of confusion and hope and pain and relief and confusion again. 2 years of adjusting himself, editing himself, shrinking himself, all just to avoid triggering another disappearing act. He'd become a version of himself he genuinely didn't recognize. Here's what nobody tells you about toxic relationships. They don't feel toxic. They feel intense. They feel like the deepest love you've ever experienced. They feel like passion and fire and something rare. And that intensity gets confused for meaning, for connection, for proof that this person must be the one, because you've never felt anything this strong before. But real love doesn't make you feel insane. Real love doesn't have you decoding texts at midnight. Real love doesn't make you question your own worth every 3 days. The intensity Ryan felt wasn't love. It was anxiety wearing love's face. It was the constant, exhausting stress of never knowing where he stood. And that stress over time had become so familiar, it felt like passion. When calm, steady love eventually enters a life like that, it can feel almost boring, too easy, like something must be wrong because it doesn't hurt enough. And that's not a flaw in the new love. That's how deep the old pattern has gone. Ryan didn't leave that night. Healing doesn't usually happen in one dramatic moment. It took a few more months, a few more cycles of warmth and silence, a few more 2 a.m. nights, but something had shifted, a quiet awareness. He started noticing the pattern instead of just living inside it. He stopped apologizing for things he hadn't done. He started understanding, it's slowly, imperfectly, that he wasn't chasing love. He was chasing relief. Relief from the very anxiety the relationship was creating in the first place. He was trying to solve a problem that the relationship itself was causing. And that's not love. That's a loop. If you're in something that feels like this right now, I'm not here to tell you it's simple. It's not. Anyone who says just walk away has never been in this kind of emotional depth. The attachment is real. The love you feel is real. None of that is the problem. The problem is the pattern. The love that actually heals you doesn't feel like a roller coaster. It feels like ground. Solid, quiet, steady ground. It doesn't have you holding your breath, waiting for a reply. It doesn't make you earn warmth that should have always been freely given. You are allowed to want that kind of love. You are allowed to stop running towards someone who keeps making you feel like you're not quite enough. The first step isn't leaving. The first step is just seeing it clearly, without flinching. Seeing the cycle for exactly what it is. Not passion, not fate, not proof of depth. A cycle. And cycles, with time, with honesty, with a little bit of patience towards yourself, can be broken.